what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more?
Alright, hello everybody and welcome. After a long few months, we are back and it is a pleasure to have you all here this evening, shooting along. A couple of viewers jumping in the chat already. It is pre-season time. We're building up towards Season 3 of AGT ACC GT3 action. And Stoneharbour asking, how long has it been? It's been a fair while. I think November, potentially. Was the last time, maybe before that even, was the last time we went live. It was a Porsche Cup Series round, I know that for certain. It's a pleasure to have your company tonight. My name is Isaac Fogarty. I'm sure you're all absolutely familiar. I am with myself this evening. No one has graced my presence in the booth, so if anyone out there is bored and fancies himself a bit of a commentary connoisseur, wants to have a crack tonight, please do let me know. It'd be a pleasure to have you in the chat. How are we all going out there? Let me know how it sounds. This is a test stream. We're making sure everything's up and running before we get our season started in just 2 weeks' time. So making sure everything looks good, everything sounds good. So let me know how it's sounding, how it's looking out there. That would be greatly appreciated. Info for this evening, we are at Misano for a 1 hour race this evening. So an hour of racing ahead. We're in a 10-minute qualifying session at the moment, which we will jump down to very, very shortly. And then an hour with one mandatory stop this evening. No little graphics on your screen tonight. You just get to look at these wonderful cars because we have no information, because we haven't had any racing to build up to or to happen in the past for us to look to preview. So we do have season 3, coming your way very soon. I'll endeavor to get a calendar image up for you, actually. Please do stand by. I do think I have one somewhere, if I can find it. Whether it'll look nice on my screen, I don't know, but we're going to just have a look at that on our screen in moments. Please do stand by. Screen. Let me get this up for you now, ladies and gentlemen. This is our calendar for Season 3, if you can read that. So we've got the season opener in 2 weeks' time, Friday the 30th of January. We're heading to Kyalami for a 1-hour race to get things started for our amazing Season 3. 9 rounds coming your way. Then we'll head to Japan for the Japanese Super Sprint, 27th of February. So a fair break, but that's to allow for the real-life Bathurst 12-hour and a few other events that are happening in and around February to take place, so all our drivers can be as available as possible. And then another couple weeks off, and we'll head to the Brickyard Showdown for a race at Indianapolis. I believe that's an hour race. It is. We're looking forward to that one. And then it's the New York Super Sprint, March 27th, round 4 at Watkins Glen. We had our Enduro there last season, and it was an absolute cracker of a race. So 2 30-minute sprint races are going to go insane there, I am sure. Then we have Sunday, the 12th of April, our Enduro, our Nürburgring Grand Prix, or German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring GP layout. We learnt our lesson from the Nordschleife. We're only going to use the GP layout this time. That's for an Enduro time length to be confirmed. We're looking at possibly 2 hours for that race. Top 10 shootout will take place on the Friday night, the 10th of April as well. Then we head to Donington for the British Super Sprint on Friday the 17th of April, so the week after, a short turnaround between racing. That is 2 30-minute sprints coming your way that night. And then King of the Ring. We had a King of the Ring last season at Austria. This season we have King of the Ring at the Hungaro Ring. So we will crown a new King of the Ring. Can Braden Henderson go back-to-back in King of the Ring titles, or will we see someone else out on top as King of the Ring in that 1-hour race at Hungaro Ring on Friday the 8th of May? Then our penultimate round, the French Challenge. So the only name we have for it so far. If you got any other better names, please do let me know. But it's a sprint feature round on Friday the 15th of May, and we're looking forward to that. Absolutely. That's going to be the sprint features last season were an absolute staple, and we are super keen to have those back on the calendar once again. And then our finale, we're bringing back, it's a fan favorite. There was an uproar when we didn't have it on the calendar last season for our finale. So the decider at Zolder is going to be a 90-minute race. You all seem to enjoy the 90-minute races. Not quite an Enduro, but a bit longer than a 1-hour race. Does put our drivers to the test, so that's where we'll finish our season. So that is our season preview. We will have a little look at that calendar a bit later on in this evening. But for now, we have just over 3 minutes left in qualifying, so let's head down to the circuit. All right, once again, let me know how everything's sounding, what the volume is like. Hopefully it's loud enough, but not too loud. 3 minutes and 8 seconds remain in this qualifying session. At the moment, it is Max Silver on top. A relatively small grid this evening. Only 10 cars showing up for the practice race, the pre-season hit out this evening. And we'll get a little qualifying graphic on screen for you now, because that's what we are in. We are in qualifying. So Max Silver leads away with a 34.6. That is a relatively quick lap time. And then we have Josh Gordon's just jumped up into second place with a 7/10 away, so roughly a 35 flat for Josh Gordon. We can actually confirm that if you go to the timetable. It is a 35.1 for Josh Gordon. Then Michael Toward in third place with 1.1 second back. Anthony Burrows, Andrew Griffin, Jaden DeWitt, Xander Stewart, new face on the AGT ACC grid. It's a pleasure to have him in this evening, getting some miles under his belt. Then it is Nismo Nath, or Nathan Howe, as he is more affectionately known, sitting in the pits at the moment. We're going to test out that Mercedes this evening. And then we've got Andre Scheppers and Riley Nicholson rounding out our 10 cars on the grid tonight. Looking forward to that. I'm just going to chase up a couple drivers that I thought might have been happening. Might have been attending. How is it looking out there? Let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you're hearing. I'd love to get your thoughts. Minute and 24 seconds remaining in qualifying. Loud and clear in a good way. Perfect. I nominate Ferbs for comms. If you can get Ferbs through, if you can get Ferbs to do comms, you're a better man than I am. I've already tried a couple times, and he says he dribbles too much, but there's no such thing. Not opposed to having Ferbinator in the chat if we can convince him to come in. So keep us posted. If you can get him, we will absolutely. Because OBS window screen, so I keep up with what's happening in the chat. So good day to everybody that's watching out there. Thank you, Viking Wolf, for the kind words. Lovely to see that it's looking good. I think there's a slight amount of lag in the every now and then, just a small stutter. But so I need to get on how to fix that. I'm not entirely certain on how to correctly remedy that error. So I'll have to fix that up. But 11 seconds left in qualifying. Max Silver across the line. Does he improve? He does not improve, and that is the end of his qualifying session. Josh Gordon, where is he? He's gone off and will not improve. Rowan Nicholson jumped up to third. He's still a second away. Can he improve on this lap, though? We're about to find out. Into the penultimate corner, or the final corner. Nice apex there for Rowan Nicholson. Runs a little bit wide. He ran a little bit wide on the second to last corner, but he should have been kind to him with track limits. He does cross the line. Will not improve. Michael Toward, can he improve his lap time and jump up the order potentially here? He does, and jumps up to third. That's a very impressive lap time. Well done to him to jump up that far. Beautiful stuff. And I'm being told Nathan Howe has a couple hardware issues. Why we haven't seen him yet. Prevails, good day, mate. I don't know why you're not racing this evening. You should be getting all the practice in that you can for next season. Not because you're terrible, but because it's handy to have the laps under your belt and to have the mileage in the new car. So I heard you're partnering with Max Silver next season in the Nissan. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can put together in the Define Motorsports team in the Nissan. I was 12 hours behind. That's not too bad. 12 hours behind. It's only 8 a.m. over there. Like, what are you doing, Matt? Come on. 8 a.m. on a Friday. You should be gaming. Viking Wolf, glad that Porsche sent you here. We appreciate you being here and joining in with us this evening. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. I promise, usually a little bit more put together than that. Than this, I should say. It's a bit last minute. We wanted to do a test stream. Let's have a look through our timetable for qualifying, shall we? Max Silver, 34.6, did not improve on his best time. A 35.1. Josh Gordon didn't improve from that time we saw earlier either. And we have Michael Toward with a 35.2, a 35.3 for Rowan Nicholson, 35.5 Anthony Burrows. Jaden DeWitt with a 37.7. 37.7 as well for Andrew Griffin. Xander Stewart with a 38.7. And a 142.4 for Nismo Nath, but struggling with some hardware issues. So we're keeping tabs on that as much as we possibly can for you tonight. Waiting a couple minutes for us to get underway here. It's all purple. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm really looking forward to the Max Silver Pro campaign this season. I can't wait for him to come runner-up and finish second in the championship, because that's his special talent. Really good at finishing second. So, looking to that one. Right, 29 seconds to go. We have 9 people watching. Welcome along. A little bit informal this week, I guess you could say, because we don't necessarily have. There's not much to talk about. There's not a lot happening with 10 drivers on the circuit. We're about to get underway for some racing, which is good. That'll definitely give us something to talk about. But in the meantime, just being in here by myself, I have no structure. I have no co-commentator to bounce off. I am completely winging it, all on my own, making it up as I go along with something that I'm told I'm relatively good at. So we shall see how we go, I guess. Keep chipping away. Exit speed limits. And
30 seconds.
Well, yeah, you have to wait a long time in the pit lane to get that speed limit released.
20 seconds.
Seem to take an age, doesn't it? This pit lane is such a long pit lane at Misano. I'll see if I can get the stats on that for you. I've been the stat man. I do have the numbers somewhere that I can refer to. Here we go, pit lane. So, what have we got? Misano. It is a... it's only with tyre change, it's only a 63-second pit time. It's 28 seconds on a drive-through, which is only 67% of the lap with a tyre change, and 30% of the lap with drive-through. So, not the worst in terms of what we go to on this calendar, but again, probably could be better. So, not great, but not terrible either. Sort of so-so. Sort of 50, I guess. Forgot fuel. Max Silver forgot fuel. Well, this is going to be interesting. And our pole sitter has not put in the fuel that he needs to get to the end of this race. Lucky for you, Mr. Max Silver, the Al Dusty, there is a mandatory stop required in this race. And then your fuel will be covered by tyres. There is an opportunity for you to get some fuel in the car at some point in this race. However, when that might be, going to be a challenge, because willing to bet, not necessarily a betting man, but if I was a betting man, I'd be willing to bet you don't have a lot of fuel in that car. So we see what transpires. I'm going to keep a very close eye on him actually, because that could be highly entertaining television if Max Silver not put enough fuel in that car to get him to the end of the race, or albeit a significant amount into this. Yeah, one job indeed, Stone Harbour. I don't know where Defy Motorsports find these guys, but seems to be a madhouse over there. We're getting towards the end of our warm-up lap. 10 cars on the grid for this race. Max Silver, Josh Gordon, Michael Toward, Riley Nicholson, Anthony Burrows, Jaden DeWitt, Andrew Griffin, Xander Stewart, Nismo Nathan Howe, and Andre Sheppers. And we'll try and delve into their stories a little bit throughout the race to give you just an idea of who's who on the grid tonight, who is out there driving. 10 people watching. Welcome along. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let us know, if you haven't already, where you're watching from, what you're thinking of the broadcast so far. Again, a little bit more relaxed this week. It's just myself looking to stay a little bit sane in the commentary box, I think, in this race. We only have 10 cars on the grid. It is pre-season testing. The third and final week of pre-season testing, albeit, and the first one that we've been able to stream. So it's nice that we've been able to stream this one. We are getting ready for the race now. They're coming towards the final corner. The field is in the control of Max Silver. He will assume 60 to 70 k's an hour, I believe. See, Andre Sheppers trying to get a little bit of heat in those tyres in the background. Max Silver will die at lap 7. Matt Tinetti, reigning champion, has predicted. Not here tonight, Matt Tinetti, so Max Silver in the box seat to win this race. And it was predicted earlier that he'll probably still find a way to throw it away. We have green flag. We are away. and racing here at Misano. A great start for our pole sitter, Max Silver, on the run in towards turn 1, followed by Josh Gordon. Car up the inside, Rowan Nicholson, Anthony Burrows battling away. Michael Toward as well, trying to get a part of this. Rowan Nicholson around the outside of Toward. On the run towards turn 4 for the first time. Up the inside is Jaden DeWitt on Toward. A little bit of push and shove. And Rowan Nicholson as well going to fall victim to that. And Jaden DeWitt is up the inside of them both. As we run towards the line for the first time. So it is Max Silver from Josh Gordon from Jaden DeWitt. As we got off to a wonderful start in that Porsche. Very aggressive overtakes off the start. And Andre Sheppers as well. A great start off the back row of the grid. Only 5 rows on the grid, mind you. But off the back row of the grid, he's up into 5th place already. So up 5 spots in this race, chasing after. He's ahead of Rowan Nicholson, actually. So he's into 4th spot even, chasing after Jaden DeWitt. And what a start it is for these guys. Max Silver leading the way. Lap 7 is the number we've been, the lap count we've been given by Matt Tonetti, that he will essentially fall victim and fall out of the race. So hopefully that's not the case, but we'll keep a very close eye on it indeed as we get towards the pointy end. We've got a battle going on back here for 3rd on the road. It's Jaden DeWitt defending as much as he can. We're very fast charging Andre Sheppers. And he's got a train of angry cars behind him. Michael Towers dropped off a little bit. Maybe a little bit of damage for his Aston Martin with the argy-bargy that we saw on lap 1. The elbows were indeed getting out. This is Jaden DeWitt having to defend in the Porsche from cars behind. Rowan Nicholson's going to have a little bit of a look up the inside of Andre Sheppers into turn 4. And he's going to get the better drive off the corner to stick it up the inside. That may be a track limit violation. They're very strict through here. You have to be very careful at Misano not to get the track limit violations. Get too many of them, you will get a drive through. Side by side. On the run towards the hairpin. Brilliant move up the inside. Great stuff. Do apologise, we're having slight technical difficulties. We're back in 1 minute. I'll be able to leave you with this lovely race broadcast we've got. We'll try and get this action first before I do go and rectify these technical difficulties that I'm having. Up the inside is Rowan Nicholson. This is a very bold place to try and get the move done. Andre Sheppers might want to invite himself up the inside here as well. He's going defensive, is Jaden DeWitt. And he's run wide. He's run very wide onto the concrete apron. Andre Sheppers is facing the wrong way. He has spun. And this is not good for Andre Sheppers. Not sure if he was helped there by Jaden DeWitt, but he is facing the wrong way. And he will be very frustrated with that. But again, 56 minutes remaining in this race is a long time to go. I'm just going to go fix these technical difficulties really quick. We'll be back with you very shortly. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully those issues are fixed now, and we should be good to green to the race. Locked the rear wheels up. How do you do that on a car with ABS? Please riddle me that. I am very curious as to how that actually happens. Very curious indeed. So please do let me know. Andre Sheppers is in the pit lane. Are you planning on coming back out, Andre? Are we going to see you on track again? I hope. I have a spin and give up. Oh no, you're heading. He will be lapped though, so he's going to go a lap down. Andre Sheppers, our race leader, already gone through I think there he is. Yeah, Andre Shepard spits out of the pit lane. Just in front of our top two. Behind our top two, sorry. And we'll have to spot him behind. And frustrating. But he goes a lap down. He's got the pace though, so if you keep with these guys, you might be able to make something up by the end of it. So keep a very close eye. Max Silver though leads comfortably from Josh Gordon. Jaden DeWitt has fallen. Anthony Burrows has got past now. Michael Toward will fancy a look up the inside. Try and get past if he can. Porsche driver. Electric start to this race. Misano always provides a little bit of action, doesn't it? There's always something happening. It's a bit hard in a grid of 10 cars. They'll spread out fairly quickly. Jaden DeWitt pulls to the inside. I think he's trying to be defensive. But this is going to maybe end badly if he's not careful. Side by side. On the run towards this very fast corner. This is where you need to brake sort of here. They touch, they rub. And Jaden DeWitt sends him wide. There he is. They're still going side by side. This is very aggressive racing. And I think it does let him go, which is probably the good call in that situation. Probably sort of just shoved him a little bit wide there. So no stewarding tonight, obviously. So make your own decisions about what you feel and think in terms of the racing. We're not actually stewarding this race this evening. You are watching along again, and you're fancy yourself a little bit of a commentator, or you just want to dabble in what's happening, or you want to come in and have a chat, let me know. I can certainly facilitate that. Well, if I like you enough, you know. I'm kidding. Yeah, let me know. More than happy for someone to jump in, help me stay a little bit sane. We are not even 10 minutes into the race. I'm already struggling because what can you do? Nathan Howe into the pit lane, so early pit stop for him. He's first time in this Mercedes, and he's adjusting. There's potential that he will partner with, I believe it's Braden Henderson in the Team XV Primer entry this season. That's the rumours that are floating around at the moment, and he is trialling this Mercedes this evening to see how he feels behind the wheel of it. Yeah, if it agrees with him. He's never really driven anything besides the Aston Martin, he tells me. So, curious to see what we get out of him this evening. Do a count, go. Yeah. 11 viewers. Hello to everybody that is watching. Have you? Absolutely honoured to have you all here. Now, Max Silver into the pit lane. This is crucial for this this race, and I do have to pose a little bit of a question to everybody. I'm trying to get the poll chat working. We're gonna have a little bit of a vote here, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for our friend Max Silver, whether he can win this race, because I think there's a few people out there that feel like he probably is going to maybe come undone at some various points in this race. So, curious to see what you all think. You forgot to put race fuel in, he did, so an early stop, 8 minutes into this race. That's got a long time on these tyres. Going to be a long old stint, you are correct. So the question is, can Max Silver win this race? Yes or no? Vote away, people. Let us know what you think. Can Max Silver win this race? Curious to hear your thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, have a vote. Let us know what you're thinking. Drops to 8th place. Josh Gordon inherits the lead of the race. I know, isn't too hard on tyres. He should be okay, thinks Antonetti. So we have one vote for yes so far. No votes. No. Well, 2 votes. We have 2 votes. 2 people think yes. Close eye on that. Yes. Very close eye on that indeed. Well, someone said no. Someone out there does not believe that Max Silver can win this race from say with the undercut strategy, says Prevails. All right. Well, it's an almighty undercut because Josh Gordon is going to run long into the extent, that's for sure. Not going to pit anytime soon, I would imagine. Would run long into this race if you were smart. Self the best advantage. Probably pit halfway through. 50. Race in half if you. Who knows? We'll keep an eye on it. Indeed. 10 minutes into this race, Josh Gordon leads the way. Rowan Nicholson sitting in second on the road at the moment. Sheppers is struggling for lap time out there at the moment. Rowan Nicholson is actually gaining. Watch closely here on Josh Gordon. Watch where the gap happens, where the gap is when they cross the line. It should have closed a little bit further, I might imagine, unless he got held up there by Sheppers, but didn't really. The gap is close. He had 2/10 that's closed in that last sector alone. So Rowan Nicholson is after Josh Gordon. He wants a good result here tonight to set himself up for the season start in a couple of weeks' time. Anthony Burrows also looking strong out there at the moment. Michael Toward sitting in fourth. Jaden DeWitt in fifth. Then it is Xander Stewart, who is yet to stop in this race, as is Andrew Griffin. So only 1, 2, 3 cars have stopped in this race so far. They are Max Silver, who is provisional race leader from Andre Sheppers, who also stopped very early, and then Nismo Nath, who was also stopped extremely early in this race. Try and give themselves maybe a little bit of an undercut. Not entirely certain on the strategy, but we do indeed ball, as they say. So keep a very close eye how that develops from here. Now, I'd love to hear, we've got 10 people watching at the moment, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you'd like to see from our broadcast in this upcoming season. We've asked our Discord members, and the people that are active in our Discord, and I haven't really got a lot of feedback that's super helpful. We want a Rowan Nicholson spin counter we're looking into, and we want a warning alarm, I guess, for Max Silver and Josh Struick every time they get near each other on track. But is there anything, as viewers watching this right now, is there anything you're watching and you're thinking, oh, it's missing this and it needs this? Because we'd love to know. I absolutely would love to know if there's anything people think that we need or are missing in our broadcast, so that we can make sure that we have it locked and loaded and ready to go when we get started in 2 weeks' time. Would be absolutely brilliant to know. Howard is actually closing in on Anthony Burrows, so it's just under a second now, this gap. We'll follow this closely, chopping at the bit for the fact that there's a battle going on, but Anthony Burrows has actually just let him go, so there's not really a battle going on, is there? Sort of let him pull over to the side, let him overtake, and disappeared into the distance. So I was really excited at the prospect of a battle there, and I was a little bit let down, I think, but that's okay. Now, drive through for car 22, so Sheppers track limits already. 15 minutes into this race. Here's a track limits penalty. Question is, will he serve that drive through straight away? Absolutely he will. In he comes to the pit lane. Oh, into the wall as well. That's going to give him damage. It's all going wrong here for Andre Sheppers. Up race tonight. This indeed not a happy camper at the moment. Pulled into his pit box, so essentially not happy at all. Pit lane at the moment is no Nath. Good lane. Andre, what happened, mate? The drive through. And you put it in the wall on the way in. What's going on, brother? It's a difficult night for the old Stone Harbour, it seems, out in the harsh lands of Misano. You want to see some lap times between Josh and Max? Well, I'm sure that is something like that. I'll tell you, let's go to our time, shall we, to the race. So, I guess if you imagine, work it out. 1:35.1 for Josh Gordon is his fastest lap of the race. What he did in the last lap. Max Silver on the last lap of the race. Let's get this up. Name right here. A 1:34.8. 1:34.6 fastest lap of the race so far. So he is a little bit faster at the moment. Max Silver pulling away from Josh Gordon. Riley Nicholson. What's he done on the last lap? Let's have a look at that, shall we? A 35.6. Plays a 35.5. So they're actually matching each other pace for pace at the moment. These two. And trying to pull away is Josh Gordon. Trying to get that gap back out a little bit. So that he's not so far behind. Yeah. But Josh Gordon, it's nice to see him pulling out some pace this evening. A couple of questions, I think, asked coming into this season as to where he sits in terms of classes. I think we're going to see this man, if not in Pro, towards the front of Pro-Am for next season. I believe have man coming in for a chat. I'll drag him in here. Drop him in. I'll make sure that we can hear him. Just stand by for us, please, sir. Before I announce you, I'll just make sure I have it working. Trying to find my. Get back to our race. Nismo Nath, it's a pleasure to have you here, mate. Welcome in. Can't hear him, he's on mute. He is muted. Let's see if we can unmute him. Oh, he's muted himself. Got himself on mute. Permission to talk. Get to hear him. I love technical difficulties. I love that we're working this out now. I really don't want to get into next season and have to work this out on the fly. Max Silver is catching Andrew Griffin here as well. So, making inroads at the moment. And we'll go here. 67, Max will love that number. 67% of people say that he is going to win this. 33% think that he won't. So Max Silver, if you're listening, you've got to prove the haters wrong. I'd love to tell you who the haters are, but I don't have their numbers, unfortunately, or their names as to who they actually are. Just waiting for Nismo Nath. He's just connected. Unfortunately, we're just waiting for Nismo Nath to join us. I think we might have him now. Nismo Nath, are you there, mate?
Hello, hello.
There we are. We've got you. Welcome in, mate. Looks like it was a bit of a difficult start to the pre-season for you. Did a couple laps, but parked it back in the pits.
Yeah, the old G923 is a little tired, mate. So probably going to need a bit of a freshen up and ideally a whole new rig. But unfortunately, there's that little thing called money that kind of gets in the way. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's just, yeah, she's probably done a fair few 100,000 Ks in her time across ACC and GT and iRacing. And God, there's a fair few platforms out there today to go racing, isn't there? So what a great problem to have.
That's exactly right, isn't it? Well, season starts only 2 weeks away, so hopefully that's something we'll see fixed up before we get stuck into the season. Talk us through how you're feeling? You're looking forward to hopefully being involved in this upcoming season. Have you had a look at the tracks, and is there anything that stands out to you?
Mate, I'm loving the look of the track list. What a great Christmas present, to be fair. When you drop that calendar, I'm sitting going, oh boy, I'm gonna have to silently change the name of one of the Oz and Z races because I was like King of the Ring. Oh, that sounds really good. And then I saw your one. I was like, ooh, okay, probably need to come up with something else. But that's fine. It wasn't Hungary though, so I'm still a little original. But yeah, no, look, I mean, don't know about a Hunkorp entry because Lewis is still unfortunately out of action, and everyone else who sort of could or would is his grandma died again, and he's in hospital, and it's there's all these excuses that come out when it's time to go racing. But no, look, we'll want to be on the grid in some way, shape, or form, definitely.
Yeah, and absolutely, obviously, we love to have you. It's a shame that we're not able to have, I guess, Hoonkop out there in a team capacity, but I know you guys will hopefully be working to rectifying that in the near future as well when a couple of drivers get back on their feet. Obviously, Lewis had that accident late last year, and we've all been thinking of him and keeping him in our thoughts, and he's on the recovery path, which is really good. Hopefully, we'll see him back behind the wheel very soon. But yeah, glad you're looking forward to this season that's coming up. Obviously, you mentioned King of the Ring. We apologise for stepping or taking an idea that you had as well. I think King of the Ring is something we try and do. We sort of brought it in last season at AGT, and it's something we want to do every season. Last season, obviously, we did it at Austria at the Red Bull Ring. This season, we'll do it at the Hungara Ring, and then I think you run out of rings eventually on ACC. So I think the only other one we can use is the Nürburgring, and then you have to go back to the start of the rotation. But Josh Gordon gets a little bit loose there into the braking zone, into the hairpin at the back end of the circuit. He took a little bit too much curb. But no, we're looking forward to King of the Ring, and maybe can Braden Henderson go back to back, who potentially, I'm hearing rumblings, may be your teammate, good old Nitro. Depending on how, I guess, not to put words in the horse's mouth, I guess, but depending on how talks with a couple of teams go, you could find yourself partnered up with the man.
Oh, look, he's a good guy. Even back in the Gran Turismo days, we used to sort of spar in the World Series and in a few other leagues. So no, that would definitely be a cool one. Like you say, there's a few conversations to have before we can say that that's definitely what's going to happen. But I think at this case, it's not a bad rumor to start swirling there, old Foggy.
You know me, I'm a sucker for a good rumor. I like to get one going. I like to get a little bit of intel and get the rumblings of what's happening in and around the scene. So yeah, no, good. Hopefully we'll definitely see you out there next. We'll obviously see Braden Henderson back out there, which will to a couple of drivers. I will make mention we won't be seeing. Adam Joy is taking some time off for some personal reasons. Got a bit of family stuff going on. We wish him all the best. Hopefully we'll see him back soon. Bob Norley taking a bit of time off as well. He's had surgery, I believe it was on his ankle, not too long ago, and it's sidelined him for the foreseeable future because he tried on a controller. I think he did an Oz and Z round towards the back end of last year on a controller, and it was an absolute struggle for him. He said, I don't know how some of these blokes can do it on a controller. He's in absolute awe, but so he's decided to step away for the time being, and hopefully we'll see him back soon. And we've had a couple of names, including some big names actually. Nick Carter and Adam Gray stepping away to move to PC full-time. So they've decided that triple monitors are really cool, and PlayStation don't offer triple monitor support. So until they do, they've stepped away from the series and have moved to iRacing and LMU. So disappointing to see them go. And James Machin, another staple of the AGT series, as well as I've got here in my notes, is he's doing FIFO work, so fly in, fly out, which we all know, even if you don't do it, sometimes just thinking about fly in, fly out work can be exhausting. So that man is working hard and very busy, and so hopefully we'll see him as a reserve for a couple rounds, but he won't be back in a full-time capacity. But that's all I have on my notes. I believe, Nathan, you've jumped in to have a go at talking about what's happening on the racetrack with me for the next 35 minutes.
Yeah, well, keep you a bit of company and, preserve your sanity. And, like
That'd
you
be
said,
nice.
you sort of touched on it there. It is always a bit disappointing when you see some of the sort of the cornerstones of the community change tack slightly, but by the same token, we do also see a fair few sort of fresh guys coming in through the ranks, don't we? So I mean, even
Absolutely.
looking at Andre Sheepers, as much as he's had a bit of a mare tonight, I know what the kid's done, and I know he's been around for a fair while. So to see him sort of dipping his toes into ACC, that's always pretty exciting. And you know, it's the way things go. If Sony would just hurry up and add triple monitor support, that would work wonders for some of these guys. But it is a bit of an intoxicating thing, isn't it, when you get you try out something that's bigger and better and more exciting. And I mean, even I myself got dragged onto iRacing, and you know that is dangerously addictive the way that goes. But you know, obviously we still love the console and what just the sheer accessibility that you can race and you don't have to have a $60,000 sim rig or be Max Verstappen. No, this is definitely a cool. This is the balance between accessibility and also some cracking motorsports that we're seeing here on the console.
Absolutely, it is. And I just will briefly interrupt there to say that Xander Stewart has spun in the final sector. It's a very tricky right-hander that he spun at. Sort of have to come into the first phase of that corner, sort of turning and braking at the same time, and then you're braking into the corner, and it's very in the car there. So Xander Stewart, another new face that we're seeing here. He's done a lot of Gran Turismo. I haven't seen him do too much ACC, so it's nice to see him out there as well. But you're absolutely right, Nathan. If Sony would hurry up and add triple monitor support, that would be absolutely wonderful. It would make, I'm sure, a lot of people's lives much easier. But it's, yeah, as you said, it's nice to see people, you know, that are racing on Gran Turismo moving across to other platforms and other games and having a go. And drivers like, you know, you look at Andre Sheppers, even you talk about Matt Zanetti, you know, 12 months ago, no one really knew who Matt Zanetti was. He mostly focused on on GT7, I should say, and running on Gran Turismo, but then all of a sudden switched to ACC and just absolutely came alive. Stunned, I think, was the biggest breakout moment for him initially was Indianapolis last year for AusNZ when he I'm pretty sure he stuck it on pole for that race. He was the pole sitter. He made a name for himself, I think, absolutely. And then he went on to throw his weight around with Simon Bishop in season 1 of AGT, and then won the AGT season 2 title, and it's just continued going from strength to strength, hasn't he?
Oh mate, it's a bit of a curious thing, and you're sort of seeing this a bit more with the sim racing world, is that there's really no path. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, in the real life world, if you want to get into motorsport, you know, what does that look like? You start off in karts, maybe you progress to like Formula Fords or Toyota 86s, or, you know, and you sort of have that ladder of progress. But in the sim racing world, you don't really get that. You can just immediately out the gate jump into a GT3 and set the track on fire. You know, you can jump straight into Formula One if that's your thing, or WRC, or, you know, there's no junior sort of formula to say that, oh, you want to get into sim racing, oh, you got to start with Mario Kart, and then you progress to Gran Turismo, and then you progress to, you know what I mean? So you don't, because you don't have that sort of ladder in sim racing, you can just become a specialist of whatever you want to be pretty much out the gate. And that's sort of what Donetti did with, like you say, he cut his teeth in Gran Turismo. He's now exploded onto the ACC, which is exclusively GT racing, right? And, you know, all credit to him. He knows exactly what he's doing. So the fact that he's like you say, the amount of notoriousness that he's picked up in a very, very short span of time, watch the space.
Absolutely, I could not agree more. Another one we need to keep a very close eye on, I think, is on screen for our viewers at the moment, Max Silva in the 75 car. He is another one that has been a bit quiet. I will just quickly note before I start talking about this man on the screen. Josh Gordon came in and served his pit stop and came out some 16 seconds behind Max Silva, which is a massive gap compared to what they were at before Max came in to serve his pit stop. So that is absolutely huge. Riley Nicholson is still in the pit lane, and he is going to come out quite a way behind
Not over yet.
Max Silva as well. Where Josh Gordon comes out in relation to Riley Nicholson, I'm very keen find out in just a second. Josh Gordon in through the first few corners and that complex. Rowan Nicholson is released from the pit lane, but I think it's not going to be enough. It's very close though. They are right behind each other. Look how close that is. I thought for a minute Riley might get him, but he indeed has not. So he's going to have to do it the hard way. He's going to have to do it on track.
And how painful is that pit exit? I mean, you're sitting there on the limiter for so long, and it's not even just the pit lane. You've also got the little extension that sidesteps the first couple of corners. That would have been painful for him. So for him to have come out and be right there, that is definitely that's probably a relief. But also now those mirrors are very well occupied.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He would have been sitting there just going, come on, please, get me to the end of the lane. Get that limiter off. You're just sitting there, your fingers hovering over the button and ready to push the limiter button. And I feel like it's an eternity in this pit lane. Some of these pit lanes especially. I know Spa, it's just such a long pit lane in to get to your box. This is such a long pit lane out. You feel like you're sitting there for an eternity and the world's just going by. And it's so frustrating. And now... he's looking everywhere. He's all over the back of him at the moment. Rowan Nicholson trying to find a way past Josh Gordon. The gap between these two and Max Silver is absolutely huge. Max Silver has run away with this race. Michael Tower and Anthony Burrows into the lane. So everyone is serving their mandatory stop now. Looking up the inside. Rowan Nicholson in towards turn 1. Shows the nose, but does not get it deep enough into the corner to make the move stick at this stage. Josh Gordon shuts the door and will hold on for now. And I believe, who's that come out in front of them? I'm just trying to see who that is on track. There's another car there. I think it's 48. I think it's Michael Toward. I think Michael Toward has come out in front of both of these guys. So he's done the ultimate undercut and jumped both of them. And all of a sudden, Josh Gordon and Rowan Nicholson battling for P2. They're battling, I think has cost them time. Michael Toward silently just chipping away at that gap that he had to these two and before pit stops began, and has popped down in front. Yeah,
well, for Toward to have come out, he pitted after them, so that would be an overcut, wouldn't it? That would be an overcut, I think.
Overcut.
Yeah,
Lovely
so
overcut.
that's very rare for that sort of strategy to work out. And now we're going into this section. I mean, how many tracks have a section like this where it's a fast right, then a slightly more right, then a right, and then a right? Like it's the same corner, but it just gets increasingly like more
Lighter.
committed. Yeah. I don't think there's too many tracks of that sort of thing. But I mean, look at this. You couldn't script this sort of encounter where you've got 3 guys battling for the second step. Any one of them are in with a shot with 26 minutes to go, mate.
Well, I'll tell you what, after the last 30 minutes of everyone being at least a second apart or more, I am absolutely thrilled that we have 3 cars all within about a second and a half of each other at the moment, sitting right on top of each other to battle it away in the last 26 minutes of this race. And it's a battle we shall get. All 3 Aston Martins, so ultimate parity here. It's about as equal between these guys as you could possibly want on all relatively fresh tyres. Anthony Burrows is 12 seconds behind these guys, which is a fair gap, but I think if these guys battle away like they sort of have been, I think there's an opportunity there for Anthony Burrows to maybe close up a little bit in this last 26 minutes as well. Maybe not enough to factor in, but he still could gain some time here and there if these guys hold each other up.
Yeah, well, that's the key word, right? As long as they hold each other up, and running with that, the battle pack will be hoping that Silver gets held up by lap traffic, which is starting to be a bit of a factor for him, obviously, with everyone else doing their remaining pit stops. And even now, what's that? He's got someone in front of him there. That's the Ferrari, so that's Stewart. Yeah, they will be hoping that just a tenth there, just little interruptions and little blips in the program, and then they might be able to catch up. And then like you say, likewise, Burrows will be wishing for the same thing. What's the gap there right now? 13.1.
I was going to say, Max Silver looks like he looked up. He looked like he made contact there trying to get Stewart out the way. And that was very messy indeed. Xander Stewart, I think that was a scary moment for him with the race leader coming through. I don't know, being new to the league, he may not be entirely across the blue flag procedures. So that'll be something I'm sure the stewards will make sure that he's very aware of. coming into.
But that's what tonight's for, isn't
That's
it? Though,
exactly
mate?
right.
That's what
That's
tonight's
exactly
for.
it.
Is just it's a dress rehearsal. It's a fit check, and those sorts of, like we were just talking before about, as much as we've had some guys move on, we've also got some newer guys coming through the ranks, and this is exactly what they need to be doing to learn that this is what you do in this circumstance.
Absolutely, it's all a learning process tonight for us. It's a bit of a systems check for these guys. Also a systems check, a chance to shake out the cobwebs and make sure that they're all across everything, and we find out how these new guys sort of look. There is a couple other newer drivers that we were hoping would feature tonight, but haven't been able to make it, unfortunately, for one reason or another. So hopefully we'll see them on track very soon before we get underway, because you don't necessarily want your first time on track being round one, race one, and everything coming a little bit undone for you right at the start, because you haven't had a chance to get the dust off, shake the cobwebs off, and get on top of everything. But I'm just noticing Josh Gordon is starting to drop a little bit off from Michael Toward, and that gap is now over a second between second and third. But Riley Nicholson has stayed with Josh Gordon, so it's maybe a little bit of a pace struggle at the moment for the 25 car. And if Riley Nicholson wants a chance at second place in this race, he's going to have to get this overtake done soon, because that gap is starting to grow.
Yeah, it's always tricky when you're in the middle of a three. I was going to say three-way. That sounds a bit bad out loud, but anyway, when you're in the middle, you want to be attacking the guy in front, but you also want to be defending from the guy behind. So where do you put the priority? Because it sounds easy, just drive faster. But I mean, you know as well as anyone, mate, it is definitely a lot harder than that. There's a bit more to the piece. So yeah, look, at the moment he's certainly got to be looking behind him more than ahead, but dude, 22 minutes to go, anything could happen. He's not out of the woods, but by the same token, we're a long way from done. So yeah, he could yet make the move.
Absolutely could. It's as you said, far from over. We'll have 22 minutes left in this race. Josh Gordon closed a little bit up there to Michael Toward, so he's found a little bit of pace on that last lap, and he's closed right up. That's about a 5/10 gain from where he was at the start of the lap. So just ebbing and flowing for Josh Gordon at the moment. Oh, massive slide for Riley Nicholson. We've got a car around as well. That is Xander Stewart facing the wrong way. Riley Nicholson had that cranked sideways on the slide, and he has somehow caught that. I'm very impressed. That is a very tricky corner to catch the car, especially under brakes. It's so easy for that car to step out, which we saw Xander Stewart. Riley would have seen the yellow flag, which may have played a factor in him just being a little bit caught up there, but he has done. I don't know if you caught that on your screen, Nath, but that was a massive slide, and he was very, very talented to catch that. It's cost him a lot of time, but I think he's probably grateful that he's still able to continue on without making any major contact, because if he didn't catch that and there was a car stranded on the inside of that track like the Ferrari was, that could have been very messy.
Oh, 100%. And again, that's why these sorts of test races, you can do all the pre-season practice in the world, but a race situation is a completely different kettle of fish. And I mean, yeah, like you're saying now, you're seeing them actually put pressure on each other, make moves, make mistakes. And I mean, look, the silver lining there, like you say, he's still got a nice straight car. It's just eyes forward. Let's get those guys back. So, and yeah, obviously credit to the rest of the guys for avoiding all that drama and the Ferrari and the bummer. And yeah, this is just a sample. This is just a taste of some of the cracking action you can look forward to in AGT. And obviously for the full flavour, I believe there's still a few spots if people are seeing this and going, cripes, that's something I'd be a part of.
Yeah, there is definitely a few spots still available. Wonderful plug, actually, from yourself there, Nath. We still have a handful of spots available on the grid. I believe we have 34 full-time drivers signed up for this season, and we have 40 full-time spots available. There'll also be reserve spots available once we fill up the grid. Our preference, obviously, is to fill up the grid as much as we possibly can. But yeah, once we get those positions filled, don't fear, because there'll be some reserve spots available. But if you are looking for something to do on your Friday nights, you're liking the look of some of the action you've seen so far this evening, and I do encourage you as well. We only have a handful of people watching at the moment, but I do encourage you as well, if you haven't, go back and watch Season 2 broadcasts and just some of the action that took place across that season, because it was absolutely spectacular. I do not think there was a race where myself and Trev were not on the edge of our seats at any given moment, because it was some of the most spectacular racing that I've seen in a long time. And it's a shame that we don't have Trevor Byers coming back in for this season. I have spoken to him. We tried to put something together, but he's a very busy man. He's got a lot happening, and we absolutely respect that. And we thank Trev for coming on board for season 2 and making those broadcasts so amazing, because he's just absolutely second to none. It'll be a shame not to have him. But yeah, some of those races we called in season 2 were absolutely brilliant.
Mate, Trev is probably one of the most in-demand sim racing commentators in the country, in the region, dare I say in the world. I mean, it is semi-scientifically proven that any broadcast that Trevor Byers is a part of, you will see viewership increases of at least 167%, and that is a semi-true fact backed by some science that I just made up. So Nicholson in the pits, he's got a drive-through, Foggy. So
Ooh.
that might put the end to his chances of catching up with the rest of his fellow Aston Martin brothers. And no, it's a drive-through, mate. Don't think you can service the vehicle. Sorry, but again, that agonisingly slow pit exit. I mean, that pit exit's almost longer than the lane itself, mate.
Yeah, he's going to sit here for what feels like an eternity. He's behind pretty much everyone on the field now, and that is super frustrating for him, because he's going to sit there for what feels like age. It's super disappointing. He will come back out.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see what position he's actually in when he crosses a control line. But that's disappointing, because he had a lot of pace in that car. Josh Gordon is starting to drop off of Michael Towers back to 2 seconds now, that gap. So Michael Towers starting to feel a little bit comfortable. He's closing the gap to Max Silver. That was 15 seconds when he came out of the pit lane, and it's now down to 8. Let's have a look at the lap time. So Max Silver on the last lap, I think he's starting to get to the point of the race now where his tyres are struggling. He did a 36.8 on the last lap. And if we compare that to what Michael Toward is doing on the last lap, Michael Toward did a 34.9. So there's a significant pace difference between Max Silver and Michael Toward at the moment. 17 minutes to go. You'd think it's a big ask for him to catch Max Silver, but I don't think it's out of the question with the way that the Nissan is dropping the tyres at the moment.
Yeah, that's always the risk that you run when you pit early, isn't it? Is that the closing stanza of the race, you're potentially on worse rubber than someone who maybe did a more split the race in half, or is even potentially going a bit longer. It's one of the things that we love about this 1 hour format.
I'm not sure if you're completely aware, Nath, but Max Silver, he didn't have a choice. He didn't put enough fuel in. He had qualifying fuel in, so he only had a handful of laps of fuel at the start.
Okay.
So he didn't do it intentionally, but put the wrong amount of fuel in, had the quality fuel in, and so had to come in early to service that stop. Riley Nicholson is also back in the pit lane with an interesting call. So not entirely sure what's brought him back into the lane, but I can see that he is back in and serving another pit stop. So keep a close eye on that. But yeah, Max Silver was sort of forced onto that really early strategy by a bit of human error.
Far out. But see, again, you imagine if that had been round 1, race 1, instead of a test session, a dress rehearsal. So that's, look, this is the time to be making those sorts of mistakes. This is the time to be ironing out those sorts of kinks. And I mean, like you're seeing the pace on offer from the mighty Nissan at the moment. And, as much as I've only really driven an Aston in this game, well, I do quite like the Nissans. So, look, his lap times are still good. He's not dropping off like a stone, but like you say, that gap to Toward is just slowly eroding away. So we'll see. We're a few seconds away from 15 minutes, so we've got a quarter of the race still to go. And who's to say? What's the poll saying at the moment?
Well, the poll did end. We had 33% of people said Max wouldn't win race, but maybe those 33% were onto something. You never know. 6.8 seconds. So in a lap, it has closed almost a second So he's getting a second a lap, but I don't know if we have another... Oh, we might have another 6 laps left in this race. You never know. With 14 minutes to go, an average lap time of 1 minute 30. We could get another 6 laps in. We'll keep a very close eye on it, but that gap is starting to shrink. So it's gone down 5/10 in that last sector alone. So it is diminishing, and it's starting to diminish at a rate of knots.
Yeah, that's a bit more telling, isn't it? I was sort of expecting maybe a tenth a lap, but yeah, half a second in a sector. Okay, something might be up. So we'll see. It's not over yet. And hey, he might just be bored and wanting a friend. So you never know with these guys. Sometimes there's a method to their madness. But like you say, we're 28 laps in, and who's that's just gone off? It's Stewart in the Ferrari. Looks like he's become another victim of the I can't believe it's not a left-hand turn. And yeah, no, this is, like you say, this is just a sample of the cracking racing, and the full flavour we will be seeing in a fair few weeks' time when we get underway.
Absolutely, and we only have 9 cars on the grid at the moment. We did lose Andre Scheppers. He's decided to go and do something else with his evening, I believe, after what was a difficult race with the drive-through early on. But we are expecting upwards of 34 cars on the grid come round 1 in 2 weeks' time, which is an absolutely astronomical number. You can have a maximum of 40 in ACC on console, and to have 34 will be a very impressive turnout. And I think we averaged around 30 in Season 2, so the grid is growing, which is wonderful to see. We've got 16 brilliant teams so far signed up to race in this upcoming season. There is a couple team spots left available as well. All the information is on our Discord, and there's a link to the Discord in the chat. We'll also make sure we include one in the description for you as well. But yeah, we do have all the information in our Discord. If you get in the Discord, you're struggling to find anything, we've tried to make it as user-friendly as possible, but do reach out to our friendly admin team, because they're super helpful. Everyone's keen to help everyone, and everyone's very friendly, and do not doubt for a second if you're having any issues that someone will ridicule you or not help you, because that's certainly we are certainly a very helpful community, and everyone's super friendly. So jump in, say good day, we'll answer any questions that you have. If you've got any questions now, even chuck them in the chat. We're happy to answer them as we go. Crucially though, I want to see when Michael Tower gets this line. It was just over 5 seconds, 5.3 seconds. There you go. So that gap has gone down about a second in the last lap. It's continuing to come down. 11 minutes left in this race. He can see him now. He's on on those straights. He can see the Nissan GTR of Max Silver. I think Michael Tower is starting to get a little bit of a sense of what he could achieve here if he can keep up this pace.
And there's always a bit of a confidence boost too when you can see the guy ahead of you, right? When you go from not being able to see him, and then when you just start to catch him, coming out of corners, there he is, target acquired. Okay, boys, let's lock in, let's do this. So yeah, that'll be very interesting. But then of course, once he catches up to him, you do actually kind of have to pass him. Like, you can't just bash him out of the way, or so Max might have a bit more of a defense game going than obviously just pulling over and chucking on the indicators. No sir, after you. So catching him's one thing, but then getting past him is a completely different animal. Just going to throw you on the spot for a second here, Foggy, because there's a bit of a question I thought I'd throw across you. So obviously ACC's, I don't think we're going to see too much more content in its lifetime, right? If you had the power to guarantee that there was one more track added, what would it be?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Oh, that you have really put me on the spot there, because there's so many wonderful tracks that I'd love to see in this game that don't currently feature in this game. And I honestly think something that is on the WSE calendar, or just any of the GT calendars around the world where we see GT cars. So you look at WSE, you look at LMU at the moment, some of the tracks they have. I'd love to see a Sebring, or even a Bahrain is a great track for GT3, something like that. I think would be absolutely amazing. Do I think we're going to get it? Unfortunately not. There was rumours for a little while, I believe, that we were going to get another track, but Kunos have since come out and said that's not going to happen. We will update the liveries every year, but we're not going to put any new content in. So I think if I had to pick, I would pick Sebring. It's a wonderful track. Yes, it'd be another American circuit, but Sebring is a lot of fun to drive, and I think it's something that's what this game. There's a lot of tracks this game is sorely missing, and that's definitely one of them. I'll return serve, I guess, Nathan, and ask you what track you'd love to see.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, like you say, there's a lot of IMSA tracks, there's a lot of WEC tracks, there's a lot of these, and ACC has done a very good job of covering most of the bases, right? Like, it's not the biggest track list in the world, but there really is something for everyone. Personally, I keep thinking about Hockenheim, not because it's the best track. Like, if I drove it right now in ACC, I would probably hate it, but it's one of those iconic tracks that you just don't really see it feature too much in modern games. And like it's been around, and it's GTM and Formula One for fuck's sake. Like, it's literally there, and it doesn't get used very often. So I'd probably say Hockenheim. You're probably gonna not agree with this one. I also think Istanbul. You remember the old
No,
Istanbul?
I
Grand
love
Prix?
Istanbul. That is a brilliant circuit. One of my
Yeah.
favorites. The day it got added to the F1 calendar, again, only temporarily, but the day it came back to the F1 calendar was one of the greatest days of my life because I'm a massive fan of that circuit.
Yeah, yeah, and look, obviously we can talk about the fact that the place itself is actually quite cold, and if you remember the Formula One race, they were genuinely struggling to keep tire temps up because it was just that cold, right? But yeah, like, something about that track, it's a tiltdrome, but it's a tiltdrome before they became tedious. And yeah, I think especially running GT cars, not Formula One, I think it would go really good. I definitely think Istanbul needs a bit more love.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more with you on that, actually. And we have 9 people watching along at the moment, and I appreciate everyone that's watching and tuned in and watching this broadcast. So we'll put it to I think the viewers as well. What would you love to see if you had one? As Nathan said, you have one circuit you could add to this game, just one more circuit that you would be put in this game. Kunos would put the time and effort in to make it good. What circuit would it be? Let us know in the chat what you think. What your dream circuit to be added to this game, if we got one more, would be, because I think everyone has differing opinions, but I think everyone can agree that when someone says a track, you sort of go, yeah, that's a good one. So I'm keen to see what everyone watching along thinks. We have just under 7 minutes actually to go in this race. 2.9 seconds is the gap. Look at how close they are. Lap traffic starting to play a factor. You got to be joking, says Nürburgring 24 every round. I don't know if 90% of drivers would agree with you on that one, unfortunately, joking. That was probably a great round for some people, but not a great round for others. It was, in fact, our community vote round last season. Round 7 was a community vote round, and I don't know if any of our drivers noticed in the Discord this season, we did not have another community vote round because we did not want a repeat of history where they voted for the Nordschleife, and then everyone had a terrible time and complained that we raced at the Nordschleife. So that was a very ironic situation, I think, Nath. But we gave power to the people, and the people did that, and then so we decided to take the power away from the people, and meant that we just picked all the tracks this season. So Nordschleife, it's a wonderful circuit, but I think for GT3 racing of this style, and especially sprint style racing, it's probably not the best suited.
I don't think I've ever even raced on the 24-hour. Like, I bought it, and obviously you remember when it first came to the game, and it was met with such fanfare, and it was, oh my god, it's the 24-hour, like, it's the Nürburgring, right? And it was met with such praise and such fanfare, and then like a week later, nobody cared, and it was just like, we even tried to do a non-championship AusNZ round at the Nürburgring, and it was like an 8-hour race. Nobody signed up. We had like 3 entries because guess what? It's such a big track. As much as it's a badge of honor, I love Nürburgring. I do a 5-minute lap around Nürburgring. it's you make one mistake and goodbye your entire race. So it's a tricky one. And like you say, the people they tell you what they want, and then you give them what they want, and then they don't want it. So I don't know.
That's right.
You guys are interesting.
That's it's sim racing is definitely a very interesting community, but we love it all the same. And some of the reasons that it drives us crazy at times is absolutely the reason that we love it, and keeps us coming back for more. So no, I don't think we'll be seeing the Green Hell feature anytime soon on an AGT calendar. Unless, of course, we somehow do another community vote and it gets us way back in. But I think we've learned our lesson on that one. Crucially, 4 minutes to go. There is a race happening on track, by the way, if we have forgotten. Crucially, for Michael Toward, 1.2 seconds is the gap between himself and Max Silver. So that has closed right up. It's less than a second now, actually, as they cross over the first sector timing line. So 4 minutes to go. Max Silver's going to have to fight hard if he wants to keep this race win, because Michael Toward is right there.
And has the rear end of a Nissan GTR ever looked so appealing as it does right now to Toward? I mean, dude, that is... He has fought tooth and nail and really worked hard to catch up to it, and now he's within striking range, mate. He could potentially, with one really well-timed lunge, he could take the lead.
Very well could. Matt made a good point, as we brought up earlier. Well, Max's tyres, they have been going since about the 50th minute. He has been out there for so long on these tyres. They will be absolutely struggling. Red hot, very overheated, very worn. He will not be having a fun time behind the wheel of that GTR at the moment. 3 minutes to go. About 2 laps, 3 laps. He's going to have a look into the final corner, thinks about it, shows the nose, and just lets him know I'm here. I'm ready for this overtake. They are nose to tail. And it is going on. Stoneharbour says Sonoma would be nice. Sonoma would also not be too bad. Again, let us know what you're thinking in the chat. What track would you like to see? We'll get back to them after this battle. Let us know what track you'd like to see added. Looks to the outside now. Max is going defensive. He has to go defensive here. He's not going to have the drive off the corner. I thought that Patel was going to try and go underneath him, but doesn't quite get the rotation. And Max Silver, he's got a rear mirror full of Aston Martin at the moment. Has a think about looking to the inside. Cannot get the moves done. He's just not close enough. That Nissan is very good on brakes, isn't it?
Oh, mate, the Nissan has got its strengths, and braking is definitely one of them. The Aston's quick in a straight line, though, and there are a fair few. Like, I'd be very interested to see... Actually, he might have him on this stretch, especially with a bit of slip. So 0.3 of a second and a minute 56. So I think we're going to see one more lap. It is one more lap this time around, mate. One
more lap, one opportunity. I do love, no matter how many cars we put on the grid, we have 9 cars on the grid tonight. We always find a way to have some sort of battle for the lead of the race towards the end. And it has once again happened. It just happens at AGT, doesn't it? And this is what you can expect from AGT as we head into Season 3. This, but on a much larger scale. One more lap. This will be the last time by for these guys. One more opportunity for Michael Toward to get the move done. Max Silver is giving it everything he's got in that Nissan GTR, driving as defensively as possible. Not giving Michael Toward any semblance of an inch to make the overtake. He's right on his gearbox, has a look up the inside into turn 4, deep under brakes. Max will try and go for the switchback. There's a little bit of contact as he holds his line. Holds him high. Max Silver now, the car behind, the car chasing. He has to maximize the exit here. He does. They draw alongside. It is going to be side by side. Max Silver has got ahead. I think Toward's backed out of that slightly, maybe due to the contact, which means he has to try and go for the move again. A nice run through here will set him up down the back straight. He has got the superior drive in that Aston Martin. This is brilliant stuff from these two. A little bit of contact there. Unsettled the Nissan. I think Toward gave that position back. He probably didn't need to in that situation, but look how much better drive he has off the corner with those better tyres. They have ditched Josh Gordon. He is 9 seconds back up the road. They are nose to tail, running into the final sector now for the final time. This is the last opportunity for Toward to get anything done. He needs to look for the overtake into the never-ending right-hander, into the hairpin, and he's not close enough. Can he get the drive off here through the penultimate corner to set himself up into the last corner? We will have to wait and see. Unsettled there, the Nissan on the brakes. Looks to the outside. Max goes defensive, covers him off, out of the final corner, parks it on the apex to hold him up. They're going to go to the line side by side. The lights flash. It is victory for Max Silva. 2/10 back to Michael Toward. A very well fought race between these two. Josh Gordon will bring it home for third place on the road. A brilliant final pre-season race for him to show what he can do. Anthony Burrows will be the last car to finish on the lead lap. And Matt Donetti, rightly so, saying needed to be ruder. No need to give that one back. Absolutely. I as a commentator, I agree with you on that. In that sense, Matt Donetti, I think that was play on. Not really much to complain about there from that point of view. I'm sure we'll have a chat to Max Silva very soon, find out what his thoughts were. Someone's doing burnouts. Is that Max Silva doing burnouts? It indeed is.
Yeah, that
Max
is
Silva
Max Silva
doing burnouts. So he's very, very happy with himself. Jaden DeWitt doing burnouts as well. He's popped the tyre right as we cut to him on the screen. He's popped the right rear tyre. So well done. That's come off the beat. And Jaden DeWitt 5th place. Andrew Griffin in 6th. Xander Stewart on debut in AGT will come home for a very hard fought 7th place. And then Riley Nicholson, yourself, Nathan Howe finish in the pit lane, and a DNF for Andre Sheppers. Called it a night early. So that is the end of what has been a fantastic race.
Yeah, absolutely cracking action. Like you say, even though we're only in pre-testing and we only had 9 guys, and it still managed to go right down to the line for the win. I mean, that's a testament to ACC. That's a testament to AGT. That's a testament to Foggy. And yeah, just like, oh man, you can't script this sort of drama and excitement with these GT3 cars, mate.
I wish I could script that drama. I just want to have a look before it takes it away from me. Michael Toward, those last few laps.
I mean, where do you begin? Where do you begin? It's just
he was doing
so
consistently
much to
doing
sort of unpack and digest, and we could do all the breakdown and analysis. But
absolutely 34, 35s.
I think we are in for a cracking season, mate.
Absolutely, I could not agree more. 34s, 35s for Michael Toward at the end there. Max Silva joins us in the booth now, mate. Well done. He's on mute, so hopefully he unmutes before we get him. He's here. There he is. Let me just switch over to our chatting screen. Max, well done, mate. That was a brilliant race. You looked like at the end there you were struggling a little bit, and Michael Towell was taking full advantage. We were debating in the commentary box how quickly he would catch you, and it seemed that he probably caught you a little bit faster than we thought he would, and gave us a nice little battle at the end of the race there.
Yep, he was really quick. I obviously had to pit a lot earlier. I decided to start the race with 20 litres of fuel, which was totally strategical, not an accident. So I had to pit, I think, 8 minutes into the race. And after that, I figured I just had to push really hard, and I was honestly probably overdriving it. So the last 15 minutes especially, my tyres really fell off a cliff, and I was just struggling. But I wasn't too worried. I felt like I was in control. Then I looked at the bottom left of my screen, my delta, my leaderboard, and I saw Tower just creeping up. In the last 5 minutes, I think it was taking a second a lap out of me almost. It was unbelievable, and it was very intense. He drove really well.
We were tracking it. He was absolutely on rails. 35 flats most laps in that final stint for him to absolutely fly through, which was massive. But yeah, a long time on those tyres for you and the Nissan, which was an absolutely stellar job. You've I think done a trial by fire there for the strategy to get out of the way heading into this season. We've been told that we need to ask you about your crash with Stewart.
Oh boy. That was an interesting one. We're in a PlayStation party together. We're having a good time, and I thought I'd give him a little scare, and I'd get as close as I possibly could to him. And then getting as close as I possibly could to him resulted in me being in a collision with him. So that was a bit of a funny one. I'm in cockpit view, so I didn't see where he went. I thought it was a tiny contact, but it was okay. And then I saw my little radar, and I saw this little rectangle go flying off to the right, and then he said he had like 2 minutes of damage, and I felt so bad. It was pretty funny, but if I get
Well,
If I get a massive penalty for that, I don't think that's
the steward verdict has
I think
come
that's
in, and
pretty
you've been disqualified, and the win's been handed to Toward. So unlucky,
Oh
mate.
boy,
But
brilliant.
yeah, brilliant stuff. No, that's good. There's no stewarding this week, so you're off the hook. But talk us
Oh,
through
thank God.
on the final lap as well. That battle with Toward. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact in turn 4, I think it was. You obviously let him go, tried to go for the switchback move, and he parked the car there to sort of block it. So there's a bit of front to rear contact. He then seemed to let you back past, and we've had the ever-wise Matt Donetti say that he thinks that was actually play on and there was no redress needed. What's your view on that situation? Do you think he did the right thing? Do you think it was probably a bit of play on, or?
I think it was pretty hard racing. I think if it was anyone's fault, a bit more on mine. I saw he had so much overspeed on me. My tires were so bad. Usually that corner, turn 3 is completely flat, but I was struggling so much. I was short shifting and I was still lifting as well just to try and make it through the corner. So he had so much overspeed compared to me, and I noticed he got a tiny bit of an overlap alongside me, and I figured he'd just throw into the corner really, really deep, and I'd get underneath him perfectly, and I'd just be able to drive past. But credit to him, he actually pulled it up really, really nicely, and he didn't go deep at all. He held me to the left side of the track perfectly, and didn't give me opportunity. I just had a bit of a miscalculation. I bumped him by accident. I lifted just to make sure we didn't have any more severe contact, and then going through, I think it was 2 corners after that when I got past. I don't know if he was redressing or what was happening. Maybe he was just a bit shaken up, understandably, but it was a bit awkward. But I think it was fair play, because in that first incident, I really did come off second best. So I think it sorted itself out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and glad that there's some good racing at least going on in the lead up to what is going to be hopefully an absolutely stellar season. I didn't comment in the commentary box before we got to the end of that final lap that I don't know what it is about AGT, but we always seem to find, no matter how many cars we have in the grid, we only had 9 cars in there tonight, and we still had a battle for the win and the battle for the lead right at the end of the race. I don't know what it is about you guys, about AGT as a series, but I think it has to sort of speak to the quality of the series and the quality of the racing that we have here, that there's always a battle at the end of the race. There's always some sort of suspense to keep everyone sort of on the edge of their seat, which is probably not great for you guys, but as a commentator and as a spectacle for what we want to build for this series, it's absolutely brilliant to see there's always some sort of racing going on.
Absolutely. I think throughout, especially last season, I think we had like 35 cars each race, and if you looked all the way down the grid, there were very rarely cars that were completely by themselves. Everyone was at least surrounded by one other car that was generally in their class 2. So you're always having a class battle pretty much wherever you looked in the field. So even though obviously we focus on the lead first because that's where the fireworks are at, I think this league has always been really good at getting battles up and down the field everywhere, and that showed again tonight. We had a lot of the big names like Simon Bishop, Matt Donetti's, Matt Simmons. A lot of those guys weren't here tonight, but we sort of lost that battle, and it was a very good one. I think Tower drove the wheels off that Aston and really gave me a big shock. 15 minutes out, I would not have expected to be in a last lap battle, but he really drove the wheels off that thing, and he deserved that win just as well as I did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a brilliant drive from both of you. Well, Max, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box. I sort of dragged you in last minute. I asked while you were racing, and Riley was my my relay of information. We want to try and make these interviews a regular thing throughout the season. So we wanted to do a little bit of a preview tonight and get you in the booth to have a bit of a chat, and hopefully with this season to come and yourself stepping up to the pro class, these interviews will become a little bit more regular in the commentary box. So appreciate your time, and we look forward to chatting to you throughout the season and look forward to seeing how you go.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Wonderful. That's Max Silva and Nath. What a drive from those two right at the end. It was honestly brilliant to watch. And again, if that is the racing that we're seeing tonight, I cannot wait till we get 34 cars on the grid in 2 weeks' time and unleash them all at the first round.
Mate, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's 100%. That is exactly what we're looking forward to, and for triple the grid size, surely triple the action.
Oh, well, that's my thinking, and we'll have another quick look at that calendar before we go. So, round 1 in 2 weeks' time, Friday the 30th of January, we are going to the circuit in South Africa. It's Kyalami for the season opener, a 1 hour race to get things started this season. And then it will be the Japanese Super Sprint for round 2 of the season at Suzuka, Friday the 27th. So a bit of a break between rounds 1 and 2. But we'll have some things to hopefully fill in your time in between then if we can make sure they're organised. And then Friday the 30th of March, the Brickyard Showdown, a 1 hour race at Indianapolis. I'm looking forward to that one. Indy, always an action-packed circuit, especially turn 1. And then the New York Super Sprint will go back-to-back American rounds. And that is Friday the 27th of March at Watkins Glen, the full layout. As we said earlier, an endurance race there last season in Season 2. This is the first time we'll see the Super Sprint format brought to the Watkins Glen circuit. Speaking of endurance races, the German Grand Prix, Sunday the 12th of April. The shootout taking place Friday the 10th of April. So that'll be a nice way to kick back into gear after the Easter long weekend and get our drivers out on the circuit for what will most likely be a 2 hour race. And then the British Super Sprint round 6 the Friday after. So back-to-back rounds, a lot happening. And that is at Donington this time. So the first time we've seen Donington on the grid for AGT. We're looking forward to the Super Sprint round that's going to take place there. Then our season, we'll have to call it our regular or maybe our biannual, because we'll do it twice a year, I think. Our King of the Ring. So the Season 3 King of the Ring, Brayden Henderson obviously retains the King of the Ring title for the time being. But when we get to round 7 at the Hungaro Ring, will he continue to hold on to that title, or will we see someone else take the crown away, someone new take that King of the Ring title? That's on Friday, the 8th of May. Then the French Challenge for the sprint/feature round, a new innovation we introduced in Season 2. Everyone seemed to quite enjoy it. So we'll bring that back Friday, the 15th of May. And then the Decider at Zolder, Friday, the 29th of May. Our 90-minute race is returning. And we are looking forward to that. A fan favourite, the 90-minute race. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what can happen throughout this season and what a calendar it is. Speaking of calendars, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Nath. We've had a couple questions in the chat. People wondering, Oz NZ calendar, I know that's in the works. So is that something we can expect to see coming soon? Or are we still, when can we start to expect to see something come out for that? Not to put you too much on the spot, but we've had a couple questions. So I wanted to put it to you while I've got you here.
Well, yeah, literally that has been probably the last fortnight for me, is just absolutely hashing out all these details, trying to find dates that work, because obviously we don't want to go and, we don't want to clash with AGT, we don't want to clash with anything massive, like Bathurst 1000, or, there's all these sort of dates that we have to write off that we can't do. So now we're starting to turn it around and, okay, so what dates can we do? It's probably going to be a 6-round season again. I know we squished in 7 last year, and we sort of did that to our own detriment with all the hectic behind the scenes that we had to deal with. So we'll probably be looking to kick that one underway probably start of April. But yeah, as far as a calendar, what are we now? Middle of January, I'd probably say by the end of January. We basically want to do a big season launch, not too dissimilar to what AGT did, but yeah, obviously actually launch it all and give everybody all the information day one. Say, right, here's all the information, here's all the structure, here's everything you're possibly going to need to know, and then no one's left guessing, because that was one of the big bits of feedback that we got, was that people want to know what's going on, earlier. So what better way to do that than right at the start rather than round by round? So yeah, look, we'll literally working on that right now. Definitely it is happening, and even there's a few bits and pieces too. Going to revamp the Discord server. Going to possibly change the branding a bit. So yeah, she's all on in the background. But rest assured, you see what you're seeing at the moment is the sort of the still water, but what's going on underneath, mate, is there's a lot. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to some updates, I'm sure, as we get stuck into the AGT season. We'll keep people updated, and we'll probably check in with you at some point again when there's some more things to announce. But in the meantime, thank you very much, Nathan, for jumping in the commentary box this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, and obviously with some interviews that are going to be happening this season, we look forward to hopefully at some point talking to you in the commentary box after a race or two.
Yeah, mate, it'd be good fun. Good fun. Like I say, I'll put a few more laps in the Merc, and we'll see what we can put together on the team front.
Sounds good, mate. Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for watching, everyone that tuned in tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. It was a little bit rusty this evening as we're shaking off the cobwebs in 2026, making sure everything still works, all the buttons, all the switches, and all the levers are still working to get this broadcast up and happening for season 3. The graphics package you see this evening was brought to you in partnership with TrackSpotTV. They do some wonderful work. George Cook helped us build all of this. It's the same graphics package you've been seeing for the last season, and it's absolutely wonderful. It looks gorgeous, and we look forward to hopefully continuing that partnership into season 3. But there's more information coming about that in the coming weeks. We're currently having discussions about that as we speak. So looking forward to hopefully having TrackSpot back on board for this upcoming season and partnering with their graphics. But definitely, if you're looking for some race streaming or some streaming done for your sim league, or even want to get into commentary yourself, head to www.trackspot.tv and check it all out over there. But for now, we've appreciated your company very much. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time for the season opener, the 1 hour race at Kyalami. It's set to be a cracker, 30+ car grid. I am absolutely very keen for that. But for now, it's been a pleasure to have your company. As always, I've been Isaac Fogarty. Stay safe. We'll speak to you very soon. But for now, it's goodbye.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth.